Hi, I'm Dave Seglins, journalist, investigative reporter with CBC, hosted on the Fifth Estate, the Super Scalpers, a look into the industry and one of Canada's biggest scalpers revealed in the Paradise Papers. We've got a lot of feedback, and thank you for it. We have a few questions. Lanny Heslip wrote to us from Facebook, or across Facebook, saying, why is this even legal, or is it illegal? And a number of people asked the same question. What was this person doing wrong that's against the law? Mike Shira wrote via email, isn't this just capitalism? Well, good question, and one of the problems with this story is that there are laws in all sorts of different places. Different provinces have different laws, different jurisdictions. The United Kingdom, we found out, had laws, but whether they could reach somebody who's operating from a base in Quebec, big question. We know that artists certainly want it to be illegal. There are conditions of sale when you buy a ticket to a concert or a sporting event. The vendors, the artists, the sports teams don't want you reselling them, so they try to put conditions on your purchase of the ticket in place so that you don't do that. Lavallee himself, Julian Lavallee, the Canadian Super Scalper, the subject of our documentary, he, in an interview with a Scottish journalist about a year and a half ago, he also challenged this and saying, what makes this any different than selling bananas? If I were a banana seller, I could buy them for low and sell them for high. So he himself raises that question, and it's something that I think fans and artists and sports teams around the world are grappling with. Another question we got via email had to do with bots. Les Humphreys writes, left me wondering why box office websites do not apply a simple bot detector device, such as the kind found on Kijiji when a user is responding to a posting. Well, first off, it's not clear that Julian Lavallee used bots. He has contended publicly that he has a staff of 20 that scoop up tickets. But as you may recall from our documentary, we found evidence of these crazy second after second purchases, the stream of purchases, pretending to be from places like Los Angeles to Chicago to London, all within the same second. These purchases are mysterious. Most experts we spoke to said it suggests the use of a bot. Something is certainly tricking out the online ticket systems, supplying these super scalpers with vast quantities of tickets. We had a question about the market value of concert tickets or sporting event tickets. Jürgen Hissen wrote to us via Twitter, in analysis of this topic, I've never heard an explanation of why organizers of concerts set ticket prices below market value. Any ideas? Well, it's a good question. I think we've all sort of grown up accustomed to certain prices to get into events. Turns out, through the scalping process, through the StubHubs of the world, clearly there's a market of buyers who will pay more. Certainly the artists or the band managers that we spoke to feel that there's an obligation to try to keep the prices accessible. So I think this story exposes big gaps between what the face value ticket price being offered by an artist or a sports team is and what it will actually go for on a resale website. We also heard questions about taxes. People wondered whether the super scalper is paying income tax on the money he's making. We also know that Julian Lavallee had set up a company in the tax haven of Isle of Man. So there were questions we received. Is the CRA going to access Julian Lavallee, or assess him rather, for unpaid taxes? Now we have to be clear here. We do not know whether Mr. Lavallee paid taxes either in the Isle of Man, the United Kingdom, or Canada. We certainly put those questions to him. But what I can say, and he did not respond, but what I can say is that in the wake of previous leaks like the Paradise Papers, the Panama Papers, certainly opened the floodgates for the Canada Revenue Agency and tax authorities around the world to launch audits and investigations to discover whether the people who are named and exposed in these kinds of leaks are in fact declaring and paying their fair share. Now, final question has to do with the Paradise Papers. John McKenzie wrote, why is it that the names are not being released? The CBC and Toronto Star, they're the only ones with these papers. They get to handpick which ones they choose to release. Well, I can tell you this, that was certainly the case in the early going of the Paradise Papers. Journalistically, our partners around the globe decided which were the big stories. We focused on that, but the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists has put the Paradise Papers into a database that is now being put online and is accessible to the public, and you can find that by visiting the ICIJ's website, icij.org. And if you'd like to catch our documentary and any of our Paradise Papers coverage, we welcome you to check out the Fifth Estate website, or you can see the Super Scalpers on the Fifth Estate YouTube channel. Thanks for your questions.